All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Adobe Digital Media Academy Senior Project presentation. My name is welcome all you guys in on behalf of Miss Christina Council, our Academy Coordinator, who's a little bit under the weather today and doesn't really have much of a speaking voice, so I'll be filling in for communication for her to kind of get things started. So once again, I wanted to welcome all of our parents that are joining us today, all of our faculty members and administrators, everyone from CTE's central office, other academy teachers, and everyone that is here to see this great presentation that these students have put together alongside with Mr. Williams and Mr. Maldonado. I know we are all excited to see what is going to take place in front of us. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. And at this point I will turn it over to Mr. Williams to get us going.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much again for being here. I'm PJ Williams. I'm an English teacher here in the Adobe Digital Media Academy. And today is a bittersweet day for all of us as teachers. Sweet, obviously, because we, again, get to see the hard work that these incredible students have created over the last almost 2 semesters now. But bitter because this is the last time that we're going to be able to see it. So this is our senior class. I taught them as freshmen, and now I get to have them, the privilege of having them again as seniors. And we were just talking before we started the meeting that some of these, because of the pandemic, some of these students who have stayed virtual, I haven't actually seen in person for almost 2 years now. So while I am so incredibly proud of them, I also miss a lot of them very dearly. So it is a bittersweet day for us for sure. So at the beginning of senior year, we always ask the senior class sort of what do they have in mind for our big senior collaborative project. And last fall, I gave them the option of doing something based on something that we read in class, a piece of literature, or turning their senior project into our big collaborative project. And the senior project is something that every senior in our school does, academy or not. And the senior project's goal is to allow these students to have a positive impact in their school and in their local community. And these kids, having the big hearts that they do have, they all unanimously chose that they wanted their collaborative project to be for the senior project. They wanted to use their talents to try and make a positive impact in their community. And from there, I left it up to them what they wanted their senior project to be centered on, and the overwhelming majority was related to the COVID-19 pandemic. They wanted to somehow push back against the force that they had felt pushing against them at that time for several months, and now we are over a year into it. And they wanted to take that very large challenge that the entire world is facing into their hands. And they wanted to have an impact both in the school and in the community. The senior project is often centered in the community here at Middle Creek High School, but because at that time when we were putting the senior project together, putting a plan together, nobody was in school. And so they wanted to do something to try and establish or recreate the community feel of being in school together, and make up for the gaps that students were feeling emotionally and socially, and then also prepare the school in any way that they could for the return of students to in-person learning. And they came up with a slogan called "I'm Right Here," and you're going to see that as a hashtag throughout our presentation. And the "I'm Right Here" slogan is sort of multifaceted. So first, it takes into account the social distancing and taking account of our fellow human being during this pandemic, and try to keep each other safe. And so the "I'm Right Here" idea is I'm here, maybe 6 feet away from you, that sort of a thing. But also, and I think more so for these seniors, they viewed the "I'm Right Here" idea or slogan as I'm right here for you, trying to create a sense of connection and a sense of humanity where maybe that had fallen off a bit in isolation. So this has been a project that has presented, just as a pandemic has presented us with numerous challenges. The same is true for these students. They have faced challenges throughout this project that I think they didn't expect. And in a lot of ways, the project has been a collection of moving targets, and so we have had to adjust on the fly, seemingly almost constantly. And I know Mrs. Peckham, our principal, has told us, the faculty, to be water. So be always adjusting and finding our level balance. And these seniors have absolutely done that, flawlessly. They have adapted and come up with a collection of projects under the COVID-19 pandemic umbrella that I am certainly proud of, and I know that they are proud of. And so with that said, I will turn it over to them to share with you their amazing work.
Hi, my name is Savannah Holmes, and I am part of the Senior Digital Media Academy, where we have our senior presentation for you all today. On behalf of my class, we first want to thank everyone for being here. When we started brainstorming for this presentation, everyone knew that we wanted to make a difference in our world, and what better way to do that than dealing with the biggest issue in it right now, COVID-19. We split up into two groups, various out-of-school teams and in-school teams, where we created deliverables and organized events to bring relief, normalcy, and hope in these unprecedented times. We are going to start off with the out-of-school teams. This is the group I worked on with my teammates, Greta Keltz and Alex Futter, with help along the way from Harrison and Eden Tice. For our senior project, we decided to collect material donations from the community around us, put them into goodie bags, to then deliver them to a local retirement home near us. We chose Jordan Oaks Senior Living, and this was to bring them joy to these hard times.
We started this project by communicating with the retirement home and getting dates and a list of donations that would work for them. After this, we started creating different advertisements that we could put out into the community.
Once we finished all our designs, we finalized one universal one, which was Savannah's, and we put them out on various Nextdoor accounts with descriptions of the drive.
The flyer that I created included the date of which we were going to pick up the items and how to give us the items. To stay safe during COVID, we had all participants gather their items and put them outside for a contactless procedure. We decided to set up an email, which was goodiebagdrive@gmail.com, where the community could email us if they had any questions or to inform us of their participation. Once we received that email, we would go pick up the items.
Some of the items included coloring books, crossword puzzles, packaged snacks, socks, and a lot more knickknacks. We took all of these items back and organized them evenly into 50 goodie bags.
We loaded the items into the car and took them to the retirement home. Once we got there, we delivered each goodie bag outside the doors of the residents. It was really cool getting to meet some of them in the hallways and seeing their excitement for the gifts.
I remember this one lady, Mrs. Ruth, met us in the hallway and lit up when she saw our goodies. She asked us what we were doing and gave us her room number so we could make sure she got her bag. We let her pick her favorite goodie bag as they were all different, and I think all of us can say we will always remember that joyful moment.
Once we were done dropping off the goodie bags, we talked to the staff and extended our gratitude for the opportunity, as they also extended theirs for our service. So they said that they would love for us to do this or something similar to it again sometime soon.
Now we would like to hand it off to the next group, the Marbles team.
Hello, my name is Yusuf Kamel, and my group members Joey Bernison, Anna Porter, Darius McKenzie, Cooper Slough, and Natalie Jolly have been working with the Marbles Kids Museum Corner Store to design some holiday and seasonal advertisements, and will be presenting the process and final outcomes of making them. Joey will now be explaining why we chose Marbles Kids Museum.
Our first step was to find a company or business that was impacted by COVID-19 that we could possibly help out. We looked for nonprofit organizations as well as some small businesses, and we ultimately decided to reach out to Marbles Kids Museum to see if we could create graphics, videos, or anything else to help bring in customers. We also had a great connection with the business because Anna had previously worked with Marbles for her summer internship last year.
Once we decided to work with Marbles, I communicated with Britt Thomas, who is the vice president of the community outreach team at Marbles. And she told us that the area that needed our help was the Marbles Corner Store, because people can support Marbles by buying toys and other items that the store sells. So we focused on making graphics for the Corner Store Instagram page. The first project we did was making a holiday-themed Instagram post series to advertise toys sold at the Corner Store. At the beginning of March, we began working on Instagram graphics that advertised spring break themed toys sold at the corner store, reminding people to support Marbles and to help it recover from COVID-19. Darius will talk further about our process and the work that we did for the Marbles corner store.
We spent time researching toys and eye-catching designs that could be used in the graphics for Marbles. Marbles gave us a lot of freedom with this project, so we came up with a 12 days of toys, a 12 days of Christmas style series, but called it 10 days of toys. Everyone individually designed their own graphic to represent the Christmas season. Since we weren't in class in person, there were a wide variety of different designs, and the overall look was not cohesive. To fix the issue, we decided to make the background on each of the graphics similar to provide a cohesive look in every graphic. The final product was then sent to Anna to compile and make consistent.
We'd now like to present our final social media post for the 10 Days of Toys Marbles advertisement series. Each of the 10 designs was crafted around the same template to ensure a feeling of consistency throughout each post. Every design incorporated multiple elements representing the Marbles brand. The Marbles logo and font style were used to keep the branding of our advertisements the same as advertisements Marbles had used in the past. Cool colors such as blues and purples were used that matched with the Marbles color scheme to provide a winter feel to our graphics. The winter theme was further reinforced by the individually designed elements of each graphic, including snowy hills, wrap presents, and snowflakes. Anna was responsible for making minor changes to each graphic to keep a consistent look. And once she was finished, she sent the graphics off to Marbles for use in their Christmas season promotional material.
At the beginning of March, we were given a list of projects to do in relation to Corner Store Spring Break Instagram content. Britt suggested that we could research other toy retailers to get design inspiration and then plan a content calendar with posts leading up to spring break that advertised travel and spring-themed toys. The steps we took included research, planning a content calendar, and then actually designing the posts. The goal of the Instagram graphics we made are to advertise travel and spring-themed toys that people can buy for spring break, which will in turn support Marbles as it recovers from COVID-19. We were told that Marbles also needs creative writers to help draw people in, so we spent a lot of time writing creative and inviting descriptions for each post. And Natalie will now talk about our timeline and process for how we completed this project.
We spent a lot of time on the process for our spring break graphics. In the beginning of this project, we set a timeline for when our chosen toys, descriptions, and graphics were due to stay organized and efficient. We made sure to research toys from the Marbles corner store that related to the spring theme. We wanted to choose toys that are great for travel and toys that encourage kids to spend time outdoors. To make sure our graphics looked professional and to encourage kids to spend and cohesive, Anna made a template that everyone followed. Each individual created a graphic for their selected toy with a unique background and specific information towards the product. Each toy is also connected with an exhibit in the museum itself. The graphics contain multiple Instagram slides to ensure maximum information and advertising. Because each post has multiple slides, each of us created one long background so that when swiped on Instagram, the background flows smoothly. After all the graphics were created, we sent them to Anna to fix minor details and to finalize the designs.
These are a couple examples of our final spring break graphics. As previously mentioned, we wanted to utilize the Instagram swipe feature by making each post have a continuous background that connects with the next slide. To keep cohesiveness throughout, we used a template that Anna made to create our posts. Each post contains a title slide, introduction slide, description slide, exhibit slide, and closing slide. These are just a couple of posts that our team created, and a lot of classmates from other teams also contributed, whether it was through helping us brainstorm, do research, create a description, or even creating the graphics themselves. Overall, the Spring Break Toy Post project was a great experience to improve our teamwork skills, communication skills, and design skills.
We'd now like to take this opportunity to thank both Britt Thomas and the Marbles Kids Museum for letting us partner with them to design our 10 Days of Toys and Spring Break social media post series. It was an amazing experience to work with Marbles, and we're very proud of what we've been able to produce through it. We'd now like to hand it off to the group responsible for the creation of in-school COVID-related graphics.
Thank you. My name is Caleb Bowen. My teammates Ryan Blazer, Nolan Connaughton, Connor Chisholm, and Dennis Wilson were responsible for creating various visual aids that would highlight the procedures that would be taking place when we return to the school building. As a member of the in-school posters group, one of the jobs I was tasked with was creating an in-school poster that would be a visual reminder to social distance. With incorporating this into our school's Mustang theme, I devised a phrase, social distance at least one Mustang away, in order to promote social distancing. I used the school's colors, making sure to use red, black, and white, and keeping it simplistic while making it appealing to the eye.
I was tasked with making a poster specifically for mask wearing. My initial idea was to at least incorporate a Mustang with a mask. I used the Mustang head from our logo and combined it with the most common type of mask you see. I added a simple catchphrase to reinforce the fact of the ease of wearing a mask.
My job was to create graphics that could be displayed on masks. I created various different designs, but cut it down to 2 designs in the end. My goals were to include the MCHS logo, use the campaign slogan, and incorporate the school year. In my first design, I used all of these together to create a box pattern inside the graphic. In my second design, I let the design flow more freely and used much more space up on the mask.
The project Dennis Wilson and I tackled was to create a short animation displaying what procedures students would follow while inside the school building. For the graphics shown in the animation, we use Adobe Illustrator to craft students made with simple segmented limbs that can easily move in a natural way. For representation in mind, we used various shapes and colors to reflect the diverse community that we have at Middle Creek. Additionally, we created different school locations with varied colors that gave the school a little bit more life and a proper place to demonstrate how students would interact with their new learning environment. By using Adobe After Effects and these graphics, we created animations that showcase students following the procedures that would take place when the school reopened. These procedures included how to transition classes, using the one-way stairwells and hallways, washing your hands, and how to put on a mask. I now present to you the animation that we have created. Each animation showcases a different part of the school and clearly demonstrates the 3 W's by showing you how to wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. We plan to display these animations on the TV at the front of the school, where it would play on loop for a good portion of the day. We also plan to have it sent out in Miss Peckham's weekly message so that we can make everyone at the school aware of the procedures taking place. We would like to thank you for this opportunity to create graphics and animations for the school, and now we would like to hand it off to the Spring Musical and the Virtual Talent Show group.
Hello, my name is Jake Coyne, and this is Tyler Kirkland, Jackson Blarsland, Corey Hughes, and Eden Tice. We're responsible for creating advertisements for Middle Creek Spring Musical Freaky Friday.
When we were first thinking about what we wanted to do for this project in regards to assisting in COVID relief, as well as the new virtual world we all found ourselves in, we wanted to bring attention specifically to the effects that COVID had on mental health.
This pandemic has brought many different struggles to us all. One of the biggest issues most of us have been facing have been feelings of isolation. Many of us have been separated from our fellow peers this last year, whether that be classmates, coworkers, or even friends and family.
Because we felt strongly about this issue for our project, we wanted to find a way to bring the feeling of connection back into this crazy time. We couldn't think of a better way to do this than a virtual talent show. Students would send in their video submissions, and we would put it all together to make a show for all students at Middle Creek to watch.
I was tasked with creating a poster for the virtual talent show. When creating this poster, an emphasis of mine was to highlight the virtual aspect of the show. I was able to do this by putting the stage and curtain inside the laptop and then putting a spotlight on the laptop.
However, because of some complications, we weren't able to go through with this plan. So instead, we transferred that spirit into helping advertise our school's performance of Freaky Friday. This year, our theater department had been holding performances in a virtual setting, and for the spring musical, they've been able to rehearse in person and plan to record it on stage to be premiered online.
We saw this as an opportunity to still go through with our plan of connecting through a virtual world. The art of storytelling has brought people together for centuries. Theater is a way that storytelling can bring light in a dark time. We wanted to help the Middle Creek's theater department with this goal and create advertisements to spread the word of this upcoming show.
For these advertisements, we created promotional posters. When designing my poster, I tried to incorporate the yin and yang theme of the movie with bright colors that inverted on both sides of the graphic. I also chose a font that fits with the loose and comedic theme of the movie to add more personality to the poster.
In the poster design, I wanted bright, vibrant colors to show the contrast of the musical. I added 2 different types of shoes to show the two sides.
I decided to center the design of my poster around an hourglass, as a magical hourglass is key to the plot of Freaky Friday. To represent the conflict of how opposed in many ways the two main characters are, I used 2 bright colors for the design that splits down the middle, with the half of the hourglass on each side being the opposite color of its background.
Along with these posters, we made a few short promotional videos. We had the opportunity to go to a few Freaky Friday rehearsals and capture some video. With this video, we hope to catch the attention of potential audience members and show that even through these hard times, the theater department is still working hard to bring a wonderful musical to their TV screens. On platforms such as Twitter and Instagram, videos are often favored over photos. This means a video clip will show up higher on a person's feed well before a single photo. Our approach was to create short 10 to 15-second videos and a slightly longer one that could be pushed out on different social media platforms to help create interest in the musical. Since most people have their social media apps set to play videos, a person scrolling through their feed would see the information about the musical automatically. And now we will play our shorter videos we made for social media. And now we will play the longer video we made for social media.
We want to thank the theater department for letting us be a small part in their musical production. At this time, we would like to turn it back to Savannah.
Sorry. Okay. Now we would like to take the time to sincerely thank everyone for joining us this morning and allowing us to showcase our hard work. We are very proud of what we have created and are still excited to see where it's going to go and how it's going to continually affect the community around us. We would like to open the floor up now to any comments or questions that we may be able to answer. And once again, thank you for attending.
Just want to say awesome job from you guys. A lot of messages going through the chat over there to give you guys kudos on everything that you've developed, from graphics to animations to videos to social media things. I think one of the coolest things that several people noted too was how you guys work with so many different groups to spread hope and joy and bring people together through this pandemic, and working with different community members and business people, and working with people in the school. You guys touch so many different people through this process, and using your talents to showcase the amazing skill sets that you have to better and benefit others, which is really, really, really cool thing. So awesome job, you guys, on your presentation. Awesome job on all the work that you guys did and everything throughout. So as mentioned, wanted to open it up for questions from you guys. So if anybody from administration or faculty here at Middle Creek, anyone from our CTE Central Office staff, any parents, anyone has any questions, I'll open up the floor for you guys to do so now. Anything that's typed in the chat, I'll try to field that. But verbally, if you want to turn your mic or cameras on and ask the students questions, please do so at this time. Okay, so a question that popped up in the chat from Ms. Smith. For anyone that wants to answer this, what was the most difficult part of your project? Whoever wants to take that question.
I can take part of it. I think the most difficult part was definitely being like at the main time we were working on this project, all of us were still virtual. So it was really hard to like communicate with everyone and make sure everyone was on the same page, for especially like when you're doing a design project. Like it's hard to like explain what visually things need to look like. So like when we were doing our marbles project, it was hard to like communicate with everybody and make sure that everybody knew exactly what the posters or the Instagram posts should look like. But eventually we all were able to work together and figure out how to like make it look cohesive.
I can piggyback on that too. I think something that was really challenging during this entire project was just being adaptive, because I think in every single group there was something that happened that had us completely change our course on what we were planning on doing. And so that definitely was hard to work around, but we all did it and we got our final projects. But that definitely was challenging, just having to completely change what we thought we were doing in the middle of a project.
You know, I want to also get in on that. You know, the fact that these guys have been virtual, they haven't been able to see each other. You know, we might have to do something like a breakout room so that they could collaboratively talk with each other. And then the problems that are inherent with being remote, and then having to also work with a client. They were adaptive the entire time, and it didn't matter what the challenge was. They stepped up to the plate and they did what had to be done in order to get a final outcome. And I can't be more proud of them for everything that they did to do that and handle that. it also speaks volumes to their professionalism, whether it was emailing someone, a client outside the building, or someone in the building to ask permission, to ask opinion, to ask exactly what they wanted. They handled themselves extremely professionally, and like I said, I'm so proud of all the stuff that they did.
We've got another question in the chat for whoever wants to field this one. What's one thing that you learned that you feel help you in a future career? One thing that you learned that you feel will help you in a future career. Whoever wants to take that one.
I could take this one. Probably our communication skills. Having to do this virtually, it's been really hard to communicate, just like how we said earlier, but it has really improved our teamwork and communication skills, because when we are able to be in person and like work collaboratively, it'll be a lot easier than having to do it virtually.
I can also say something to this. I think the biggest thing I learned was how to be more adaptive, because right now everybody doesn't really have their set schedule. Everything's always changing. So we also had to be accommodating to that, but also realize that we can't always stick to what we had planned, and to always be changing and be on our feet and always be willing to do things that we hadn't planned previously.
I know we have several former Academy members here as well that I saw pop in a few different times, and obviously you guys have kind of been in the same places as these young men and women, having given presentations and done projects in the Academy. So are there any of our Academy alumni that are here that would like to ask any questions or say anything at this point in time?
Hey guys, I'm Lily Choplin. I'm a past, well, former student. Wait, can you guys hear me? I've never used Google Meet before.
We can hear you, Lily. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say, like, you guys should be really impressed with yourselves. And I know, like, it probably was really stressful, like, all the changes and everything. But I'm in college right now, and I can tell you guys, this is just going to prepare you so much for going to college next year, because hopefully things will be more back to normal. But the quick pacing schedules and like not knowing everybody's and having to be so adaptive, like you guys are going to go and be so prepared now, especially already kind of having a test run with your senior year being like this. So just want to let you guys know that it will all be worth it.
Thanks, Lily. I appreciate that. Anybody else, either alumni or faculty or teachers, CT, anybody, parents, anybody else with another question, anything else to add?
So I just have one more, and I've seen lots of presentations throughout this year, various grade levels and classes. So this is your senior year, and so I just want to know sort of how you're feeling after having gone through many presentations and many projects. How do you feel going into your next steps, and whether you're planning to do something along this line, or if you've completely changed your mind about what you want to do? I'd just like to hear from a few of you of, what do you think this is going to do for you, this whole experience that you've been through for the last 4 years?
I would say it's like definitely prepared me. Like when I came into the Academy as a freshman, I just like wasn't very good at like public speaking or like, stuff like that. So with all this practice, I definitely feel really good about it. And I'm like planning like to continue doing graphic design. I'm going to major in graphic design in college. So it's like definitely prepared me. And I feel like I definitely have like a foot ahead of everybody else in like that I'll be seeing in college. Like, yeah, I just definitely feel very prepared.
Yeah, I agree. I think not only with like public speaking, like what Anna was saying, like I think like coming into it, you kind of have the same mentality as every other middle schooler coming into high school. It's just you're gonna cruise through high school, and then you get into the Academy, and then like your whole mentality changes. Like I was not the greatest student in middle school, and then like beginning of high school, but then you come into the Academy, and like your whole drive changes. Like I've changed like a lot since freshman year, and like kind of realize like if you really want to be successful in the career field, whatever career field that may be, like it's not too early to start that. And I wouldn't have done it without the people, like my classmates and my teachers, the 5 teachers I've had in the academy. So, I think like networking is something that we've learned a lot, in the public speaking and the, portfolios, and just being career ready is, I think, one of, if not the most beneficial thing that we've learned out of here.
I think it's like, since I'm not necessarily going into a field with digital media, but I still think that this academy has helped me prepare for like any career field I'm going into in life. And like I can use a lot of the stuff I've learned through the academy in my future careers, no matter what it is that I'm doing, even if it has nothing to do with digital media.
I feel the same way. I am going into or hoping to major in graphic design, and the academy, I never would have known that I loved graphic design as much as I did without learning these skills. And I also want to say, like, I've gone into interviews and like things for jobs before, and I felt comfortable going into it just because of how much the academy has prepared me with interview skills, networking, and also just presenting, being comfortable in front of an audience. So it definitely has not only prepared me in the field I want to go into, but like Darius said, in all other aspects.
Yeah, kind of going off of that. So I'm kind of going directly into this field. I'm going into more of like the fashion marketing. And I had an interview actually in February about like a scholarship, and I just felt really confident, just like Natalie said, because we had so many opportunities for us to, one, learn how to interview, which is not even digital media at all, but we learned it in the academy. And also I felt really confident, like, because you get a lot of credentials, I guess you could say. Like, I'm certified in all the Adobe products, and I think it just puts you over the edge next to your competitor. So.
Thanks for sharing, guys. I know that you guys have had a tremendous experience in the academy, and I also want to publicly say thank you to all those folks that support you, all your teachers, Ms. Council, your administration. Without them, you wouldn't get what you have gotten, right? And so I think a big thanks to all of them as well. But good luck to all of you as you move forward in whatever you plan to do. And I know that the skills you have learned will take you wherever you want to go.
Anybody else with a question or a comment that they would like to add? All right, Mr. Williams and Mr. Maldonado, I know you guys have a few things that you've typed in the chat, but I'm sure that you want to share as well. So I'll turn it over to you guys for your thoughts and stuff about the students and the project, and anything you'd like to add.
Yeah. So once again, you guys did an awesome job. I never had a doubt. In fact, when we started all this, I was commenting about the fact that, we had students that won our Skills USA competitions, and you go into this going, I hope we do well, hope we do well. But for us teachers, we already know how great you guys are. And so we know that you're going to come in here, you're going to nail it. And you did. It's because you practice and you practice. And that's something that we have said to you guys for years now, is that if you prepare, you will succeed. And so you guys did exactly that. You prepared and you succeeded. And as long as you continue to do that simple thing, prepare, you will continue to succeed for the rest of your lives. And I'm so proud of you guys. And I look forward to seeing what we're going to do for the rest of the year. But I'm definitely proud of what you guys did today.
Yeah, I get proud is the best word for it. And I think maybe the most impressive thing for me through this whole process, knowing how I personally, was frustrated at various times with the constant change and, the different decisions coming down that we had to adjust to. I think knowing how frustrating it was for me, the most impressive thing watching you guys work together and continue to work hard is not let that frustration, really derail anything. I think might have been Natalie that noted that seemingly every group at some point had to radically change plans. And rather than throwing your hands up and just sort of checking out, you guys adjusted, and I think adjusted far better and far more admirably than much older people would have done in the same situation. So just like everybody else has said, I'll echo how not surprised we will all be when 3, 4, 5 years from now we hear all the great things that you're continuing to do. So and the senior groups is always it gets to me a little bit emotionally, just because I had you guys as freshmen and some of you were physically so tiny and now you're physically so huge. But just emotionally and intellectually and professionally and creatively, how you've grown is always so impressive to me. And you guys continue to move the bar a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And we always hear that from our alums who come back and they are impressed, and they went through the same process that you guys did. So I can't wait to see those of you who are in person next week and give you a congrats and proud of you in person. But to everybody, proud of you, love you, and could not be happier for you.
I'll echo one last sentiment of that word proud too, as we kind of wrap up here. And I think, Mr. Williams, you kind of have the best perspective of this as the bookend from when they first walk in the door as freshmen and then seeing them cap off the end as seniors. But I know through the process of all of that, through all of our academy teachers, including Mr. Silva, Mr. Maldonado, Ms. Council, now Ms. Glover in the mix, for all of us, the kind of one of the joys we have is watching you guys grow. Right, from where you start to where you finish to where you begin again, right, as you now get ready to walk out the doors and leave us. And as we've mentioned many times, those words just echo about how proud we are and how talented you are and how set up for success you're going to be leaving here. And the credit really goes to you guys, because we kind of push you and lead you in a direction, but you guys at the end of the day are the ones that do the work, that put the time in, that make the difference, that change and adapt and grow. And just gonna miss you guys so much, man. But I think as Lily pointed in when she popped in, and several other former students and Academy alumni popped in, it's like it's family for life. It's family for life. And we're always here if you need us. We'll always be around for you, and we're always gonna smile and look back on the memories made together through you guys' time here in your 4 years of high school, whether it was in person, or at home, or whatever the case may be. We're here. We'll always be here, and we'll always be proud of you, and we always want to hear what you do next. So very awesome to see how much you guys have grown, from when you guys walked in my classroom as sophomores to the things that you did with me and Mrs. De Silva as sophomores and as juniors, and to see what you guys have done, with Mr. Williams, and Ms. Council as freshmen, to get to where you are now with Mr. Williams and Mr. Maldonado as seniors, from the team Montagues back in the day to now actually, helping so many people in the community and within our school system and outside in the workforce. And the impact that you guys are going to have as individuals in society is going to be tremendous. And I'm just so very, very proud of you guys. So keep doing what you do. You guys are amazing. You really, really are. Anything from anybody else as we finish up here real quick? All right, we will end on that note. Thank you guys again so much for coming. Thanks for all of our administrators, all of our parents, all of our faculty, all of our staff, everyone at CTE Central Office, former Academy members and students. Thank you guys so much for coming. Everybody that tuned in, thank you guys so much. You guys have a great day. Awesome job, students. So proud of you guys.
Thanks for coming, everyone.